True or false, Travis? This statement is false.
False?
Nope.
True then.
Nope.
I've got one for you. True or false, Joel? It's way too early for this, and let's just listen to the kids' corner.
True, I guess.
Captain's log, stardate 11924. The USS Enterprise has been ordered to investigate a strange nebula in the outer reaches of chartered space. My crew have their reservations, but personally, I see this as a great opportunity to discover more about this vast universe we find ourselves in. Come.
Captain, we have exited warp and are moments away from getting a visual on the nebula.
Thank you, Counselor. What are your thoughts on the mission?
We will follow your orders to the best of our ability, Captain.
Yes, the second directive. But what do you think about it?
I try not to, Captain.
Captain, the nebula is in sight. You're going to want to see this.
That's never a good line to hear. Shall we?
Captain, I've been taking readings and they don't make any sense.
How do you mean, Commander?
The charts seem to be reading a large mass of matter, but when I try to nail down what kind of matter, the sensors tell me there's nothing there.
Captain, I'm sensing a great amount of negativity.
Yeah, I know. You've all been complaining about this mission since we've set course.
No, I mean from the nebula. It's like there's a presence in there that can hear us.
Open a channel, Mr. Destin.
Aye, Captain.
This is Captain Lionel Jacobs of the USS Enterprise. Is there anyone there?
No.
Oh, really?
I sense they're lying.
Thank you, Gabby. I'm aware they're lying. We come in peace. Will you reciprocate?
We will reciprocate.
Oh, well, that settles that then. May we enter the nebula to meet you then?
You may enter safely.
I don't feel good about this, Captain.
Yeah, the scanners are showing the opposite of normal readouts. And if they lied the first time, what makes you think we can trust anything they say?
Enough. We're going in. Destin, fire up impulse engines and make your approach.
If you say so. Entering the nebula in 3, 2, 1.
And that's where the show ended. Dad says we'll all watch the next episode for lunch.
He does know that all the episodes for that show are all on the internet already, right? You don't have to wait for the next episode to come out.
Yeah, but he says you don't get the real experience if you don't wait at least a day to find out what happened.
Grown-ups can be weird.
You said it.
Oh, hey girls, what's up?
Hey, Destin. Brooke was telling me about a show her family is watching together.
Oh, nice. What kind of show?
Oh, you know, it's like one of those really old sci-fi shows from the 90s. You know, Resistance is Pointless and Warp 5, Mr. Burton.
Oh, yeah. My grandpa watches those. Speaking of which, is Mr. Jacobs around here?
He was. He might be in the backyard. What's up?
I had a question for him. You know, Bible stuff.
Of course.
Anything we can help with?
Maybe, Gabby. What do you know about the truth?
Is that a dig?
Huh? No, I just have a question about truth. You know how it works and stuff?
You don't know how the truth works?
Do you?
I mean, sure. It's what's true.
Yeah, I'll wait for Mr. Jacobs.
Probably a good idea.
Want me to start up the radio then?
Sounds good to me.
All right, Destin. I hear you have a burning question for me about truth.
Yeah, I was wondering if you could tell me how it works and stuff.
Well, that would be a feat for sure. Could you give me a little context so I know where you're coming from, or did this question just pop into your head this morning?
Okay, so I was talking to one of my friends. He's a neighbor. He doesn't come around here.
All right.
Anyway, he was talking and then said something like, people just need to live their truth. And I didn't get it, so I asked him what that meant. And he said some people think one thing is true, and some people have something else that's true for them, and neither are wrong, it's just how it is. Which really confused me, so I came over here to talk to you about it.
I see.
Wait, you had this deep of a talk before you came over here? How early do you guys wake up to hang out?
It was a couple of days ago, Brooke.
Oh, that makes more sense.
That's an interesting conversation, Dustin, and it is a little confusing when people talk that way, so I'll try to explain what they mean by it.
Great.
What most people mean when they talk about their truth or your truth, what they're really talking about is everyone has their own perspective. I see things one way, you see things another way, and your neighbor sees things their way.
I think we all knew that, Mr. Jacobs.
It's pretty basic stuff, isn't it, Gabby? But there's been a trend for quite a while now for people to call their perspectives truth, which is a bit much. After all, lots of people can be tricked into seeing things that aren't real and true. There are all kinds of people who make their livings by tricking people into believing all sorts of things.
You mean like magicians?
Magic tricks and illusions aren't exactly what I meant, Destin, but they are a good example. But where stage performers use their hands and contraptions to fool and entertain you, other people will use words and ideas to fool and control you.
Right. We know there are people who want to do that kind of thing, Mr. Jacobs, but that doesn't mean that everyone is doing that.
No, you're right, Brooke. The point I'm trying to make is just because you believe something, even if you really, really believe it, that belief doesn't automatically make that thing true.
So what does then?
I guess that's the important part, isn't it? And I might have a script that might help to explain. Shall I go get it?
Yeah.
I'll be right back then.
And we'll listen to the radio.
And now, from the garage of Lionel Jacobs comes the verifiable drama, The Electric Fence, an adapted biblical teaching about truth. Once upon a time, there were two cows, Buttercup and Margie.
And we're two very happy cows. The farmer takes good care of us.
That's right, Margie. We get to run in open pastures, drink from the ponds, and when it rains, we get to watch from our clean, dry stalls.
I've lived on this farm for a year now, and I've never felt safer. It's like there's nothing to fear.
Of course we don't live in fear. We have an electric fence.
You see, surrounding their home was a tall electric fence, where if anything or anyone walked up to it and tried to get over it like this, on second thought, maybe I won't demonstrate.
Good choice.
One day, the cows were munching on their breakfast when a sly black crow fluttered down from a tree and perched on the fence.
Hey, are you all right?
Yeah, we're good. Why do you ask, Mr.
Corbin's the name. I was just flapping by, looking around for some fun, and I couldn't help notice you stuck in here.
We're not stuck. What are you talking about?
Of course you are. You're surrounded by this fence and trapped in your minds.
Our minds?
Sure. You two look like strong, smart cows. Why is it that you don't just push through the fence and get to those berry bushes over there? They sure are tasty.
Haven't you been listening? We can't go through the fence. It's electric.
You must not have heard the farmer right. I don't see any electric. I don't hear any electric.
So, electric isn't something you can see or hear.
Sure it is. Haven't you seen the movies?
We're cows. We don't watch movies.
Point taken. Let's put it this way. If this fence was electric, how could I sit on it like I'm doing now? I'll hop around on it. See? How am I doing that?
I don't know.
I see what you're trying to get us to do, and it won't work. If you're so sure there's no electric, why don't you put 1 foot on the wire and 1 foot on the fence post? Or maybe touch the wire while you're standing on the ground.
No.
Why not?
You're asking too many questions. I gotta dip. Think about what I said.
That's what I thought. Come on, Buttercup. Let's go find some clover.
And with that, Margie left, but Buttercup stayed behind thinking about the fence. She had been told all her life that she would get shocked if she touched it, but the crow had been able to perch there without getting hurt. Maybe he was right.
Maybe I've been lied to all these years. I've gotta know. Ow!
I told you she'd do it. What a dope. That's what I call funny.
The moral is that God has given us warnings and instructions in His Word to protect us. They can seem strict or even strange, but they are true. In our lives, we'll meet people who tell us that the Bible can't be trusted and that dangers aren't real. But truth is truth. It doesn't change because people decide something different. And when it comes down to the wire, who are you going to trust? Random people or the one who is truth? Something on your mind, Dustin?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Jacobs, but I'm afraid that drama script didn't really answer the question we asked earlier.
It didn't? Oh, well, remind me of the question again.
We asked what made something true, if not us just believing something really hard.
Oh, well, I guess the first question we need to answer is, what is truth?
I mean, it's like you said. Truth is truth?
Yeah, I guess I did say that, didn't I, Gabby? All right, a better way to explain is truth is what's real, not imaginary, not just what most people believe or feel. The truth is what actually factually happened, what is happening, and what will happen. And though people try to twist truth, it cannot be changed.
That's much better.
Thanks. Now then, what makes something true? A lot of time, people think feelings are what's true. But our feelings change all the time depending on our situations. I don't know about you, but there have been lots of times I've felt like I was better than other people, or that people hated me because they treated me in certain ways. But these things weren't true. They were just my feelings. And like it says in Jeremiah 17:9, our feelings aren't the most trustworthy of sources.
Okay, but what about science? I don't know of anything more focused on truth than that.
Sure, science is great. But it's only the study of things that are true. And though it can help us find what is true, it has changed constantly as we've learned more and more about the things God has made. What scientists thought were true 1,000, 100, or even 10 years ago is different than what they think is true now.
Fine, so if it's not how we feel, or even what scientists say, then what does make something true?
Well, the Bible makes it pretty clear that God is the one source of all truth. Verses like 1 John 2:21, John 14:6, John 8:31 and 32, and Psalm 119, 160.
Okay, we get it.
That John guy seems to talk about it a lot.
Sure, but how do we know the Bible is true?
I think we already talked about that a few weeks ago, Brooke.
Well, I wasn't here for that, okay, Dustin?
The history of the Bible is interesting and definitely worth considering for this point, but I would say there's a simpler answer, and you can find that in 1 John 4.
There he is again.
Yep, and here we read that we need to test the Bible and any teachings we hear. If you hear something that claims to be true, put it to the test. Look it up for yourself. Ask your parents and pastors about it. Ask God about it. So often we just accept things because we hear it and we don't look into it further. That's not at all wise, nor even loving.
Loving?
1 Corinthians 13:6.
I'll have to look into all of this, but thanks, Mr. Jacobs. You've given me a lot to think about.
Then I feel I've succeeded in my mission.
Oh, speaking of missions, can I come over to your house and watch that show you were talking about earlier?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Sure, let's go.
Bye, Mr. Jacobs.
See you later, girls.
I'd better go too. Thanks for your help, Mr. Jacobs.
Well, want to get the radio on your way out?
Yeah, I'll get that for you.